Back with another one. How's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. Be getting used to my new routine. I told y'all I switched it up at work. I'll elaborate on that at a different date and time. But this one has been on my mind. And with that being said, Jared, the 20-year recovering sex addict, 20-year recovering abusive sex addict, no filters, no edits, no redos. 44 years old, trying to live the best life I possibly can, trying to help and influence others. Hope I can influence you. How many of y'all like to get high, man? I've been getting high for quite some time. Um, if I had to put it in perspective, smoking weed and having sex went hand in hand. For at least 5 to 7 years of my life, I probably had sex more than I slept at night. This is no cap. This is for real. It's not something I'm proud of, but those mistakes led me to make this channel. Jared, the 20-year recovering sex addict, man. 20-year recovering abusive sex addict. No filters, no edits, no redos, no nothing. The channel that is not in YouTube's algorithm. The channel that never asks you to like, comment, subscribe. But I had to make this upload. So bear with me. When you smoke, you change your frequency. This is the truth. If you ask me if weed is a bad thing, is a good thing, I'm gonna say yes to both. If you have underlying ailments, life-threatening disease, or if you've accomplished everything that you want to in your life and you want to kick back, how could I be wrong with that? Celebratory practices, I'm no judgment. I'm not your maker. I can't judge you. You do what you want to do. But when you smoke weed, you change your frequency. And when you change your frequency, it's like opening the door. It opens doors, spiritual doors. It opens doors for the devil. It doesn't mean that you're going to walk through that door. It's sort of like the devil's behind the door, just peeking. Don't mind me, I'm at work. Just letting you know that he's there. So that's what I mean, If you ask me if I like to smoke weed, I don't really care for it anymore. The last time I actually hit real flower, I had cut my hand so bad, almost cut it to the white meat. If you know that expression, you know that if you do that, you're probably gonna have to go to the hospital to get stitches. The cut would not stop bleeding for maybe 40 minutes. I started getting scared after about a half hour. And the only thing I had around the crib was aspirin. And if you know aspirin thins your blood. So that's the last thing I wanted to take. So I actually smoked flower. It was the one thing that, I had to keep my hand upright in that position, because as soon as I let it drop or I would fall asleep, that heartbeat, you could feel your heartbeat in my finger, and the pain was unbearable. Anyone who's cut themselves know what I'm talking about. So you want to keep your body part that's injured, in an elevated position. And the weed is the only thing that subsided the pain and allowed me to go to sleep. But I hated it because I could not feel the frequency of the Lord anymore. That's the one thing that bothers me, But as someone who used to smoke probably the equivalent of, if I was conserving, maybe a half ounce every 2 weeks, but it didn't always play out like that. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I probably broke at least $15,000 just worth of bongs. And people think I'm lying. No, this is what I usually did. This was my routine. And I think some of y'all, some people who smoke a lot, I don't know if you're feeling the same effects anymore, but you sometimes fall in love with the routine more than the actual love of the product. I'm not saying that you can't achieve your dreams smoking weed, a lot of times most people don't have the focus to hit that sixth gear. And one of the greatest things that I've ever seen on YouTube, it's not mine. I think I found it on Addiction Mindset, so shout out to that channel. Weed makes you comfortable with being uncomfortable. And a lot of times most people won't challenge themselves to become the best version that they possibly can be because you're under the influence. So that's all I have to say about it, man. I just want to talk about that because I'm someone who's been smoking weed for so long. And the last couple of years, I've basically turned away from it. And I don't think it's detrimentally wrong. I just think that if you don't have the strongest mindset, it opens doors. You don't always have to walk through that door, but beware that it's open. And when it is open, you're susceptible to the attacks. The attacks of who? The attacks of the devil. I'm giving y'all the straight, uncut truth, man. This is coming from somebody who used to smoke a hell of a lot of weed. And when I see some of the younger men and younger women getting addicted to very, very potent kinds of marijuana now, you're creating more hardship and obstacles in your path than you realize it. And most of the time you won't realize it until you've wasted valuable time. So just be careful, man. It's Jared, the 20-year recovering sex addict, 20-year recovering abusive sex addict. Y'all know my name, y'all know my channel. Discernment over delusion. Live and stand for something greater than one's own self-gratification, man. I love y'all, and I'm out, baby.